Geeks Worldwide. Hello, hello. How we doing tonight, everybody? I'm so excited to be back. This is Darth Sparrow joining you live for the Geek Side Podcast, episode number 14. And it's just me and my amazing, super awesome, wonderful fellow Star Wars nerd and best friend, Christina. Hi, Christina.
Hi, Will.
What's going on?
Oh, I'm definitely extremely excited for tomorrow. Already losing sleep over it.
The anticipation is like palpable right now, especially between people like us.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, big time.
Yeah. Yes, it's yeah, it's I'm so excited it's finally here. I've managed to stay spoiler free. I've managed to only watch two trailers. I'm ready. My mind, my body, my loins are ready.
I'm both ready
Everything is
and not ready. It's like in a good in between where I'm like, I am ready, but oh god, but I'm not.
yes, I know.
And I've stayed spoiler free too, and I think that's really great because I have at least 6 friends who attended the premiere and saw the movie early
Right.
and have messaged me privately to tell me how awesome it is, but didn't spoil a damn thing. So
Yes.
good on you guys.
Because they know you will like personally castrate them if they're male.
Well, yeah, but also the fact that they're not spoiling it for anybody else. So that
Right.
makes me really proud of my friends right now.
Yes. The only thing that I did manage to see, like as soon as I saw like the title, it had nothing to do with spoilers. I did manage to see that so far already on Rotten Tomatoes, it's already has, I think they said, the best score out of any Star Wars movie on Rotten
Correct.
Tomatoes.com,
I believe it's
which is, yeah,
96%, which is the highest. I think ESB being 94.
yeah. Wow. That's like, so they're basically saying that it's better than ESB so far, but I don't know, it's a big statement.
And I'm like, ooh,
That's a
that's
loaded statement right
aggressive.
there. Yes. I'm trying not to get too crazy on the expectations as I don't try to do nowadays with any movie, but I'm ready for it to be awesome because it's all I'm hearing about it. What Let's talk about, because I did a shitty job of keeping up with the 30-day Star Wars challenge, and you have been like pretty much on it every day.
I
So
have.
yes. So let's see. Out of all those questions, Christina, what is your favorite Star Wars moment in the entire saga so far?
Like in the movie or just my own personal experience?
Let's say in the movie, and then we'll do personal experience.
In the movies. Okay. Ooh, that's got oh, there's so many though. Um
I know.
I know the first one that comes to mind is probably the end of Return of the Jedi when Luke has that chance to. I mean, he almost does turn to the dark side because Vader has baited him so much into it by threatening to go after Leia. Basically, if Luke doesn't do it,
Right.
and then Luke has that moment of reality where he sees his father's hands the same as his hand, and he's like,
Mm-hmm.
"No, no, I'm not going to do that,"
Mm-hmm.
and is willing to die for it.
Sure.
Which is one of the reasons why I love Luke Skywalker because he's literally willing to die for his friends and family
Yes.
when he could have taken the easy way out.
Absolutely.
And he would be super powerful, arguably probably the most powerful Sith in all of the galaxy, but he
Mm-hmm.
didn't do it. So the first one that comes to mind would be that one.
Mm-hmm. God, gosh damn it! You had to like say it from the like same spot that I was gonna say. I
Because it's so good.
I know. Gosh damn it! Well, piggybacking on that answer, I would have to say mine would definitely be the fight between Luke and Vader in that film. There is just so much going on symbolically in that fight. So much going on between both of them as to and like you said, it's kind of a toss up. Luke could have ended up either way after that fight, and just the way things went down, and so many influences, and the fact that Luke was able to overcome that, it was a huge deal, and it's still to me definitely one of my top three best lightsaber battles in the
Oh
entire
yeah.
saga. Yeah, hands down, no question. Favorite personal moment? Let's go with that.
Probably meeting Mark Hamill at
Yeah.
Celebration this year. That was incredible. Mark worked his butt off at Celebration to the point where he made his voice go completely hoarse and made himself sick. And he still went out of his way to make sure that every person he met, he made that experience special, even though it was like less than 30 seconds.
Right.
I mean, you pay $200 for these photographs. He knows that. He knows that it's, and, a lot of these people, including myself at the time, you have to scrounge that money together to do this. And I was worried about it. And those 30 seconds were amazing. He made that phenomenal. And the picture
Yeah.
I took with him was the best thing ever. So
Yeah.
probably
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Yeah. That's an awesome photo, And just to not say the same thing, because I've like you have gone to a lot of even just Star Wars specific conventions and gotten to meet a lot of different amazing celebrities from the saga, and I've had a lot of great moments in that respect. I will say, besides that, probably one of my other favorite moments was when I got to be one of the two official Lucasfilm approved Darth Vaders for the Force Unleashed video game release party. And unbeknownst to me, that was actually the first time I met our friend Jessica, and
Oh.
she was one of the first, we'll say, documented people to dress up as Juno Eclipse, and it was
Mhm.
at that event. And so that was kind of a surreal moment. It was really exciting. George Lucas actually showed up for like 5 minutes and talked a little bit on stage and did a bit and took off really quick. One of the funniest moments of that night, though, was they had pretty much the main voice cast from the game, as well as a lot of the game developers and directors and things like that. And of course, Sam Witwer, who did the mocapping and the voice for the main character, Star Killer, Galen Merrick, whatever you want to call him, was there. And at one point, they had stationed me kind of behind him when he was like doing autographs and taking pictures with people. And when I walked up to his table, like he had noticed that I was coming up behind him, and so I just kind of walked up, and it was funny because my speaker for my voice unit was right about ear level to him, and I just kind of like walked up really slowly, and I went, "You have done well, my apprentice." And he like turned around and he looked up, and he's like, "Holy shit, that was awesome!" And it was like I totally just blew his mind. It was really funny. So that was definitely one of my favorite moments. But I mean, I'm sure you can agree that one of the most amazing things and enriching things that Star Wars has brought to my life is the friendships that I've made with people like you and like Jessica and Ken and all those people that we all came together because of our love of Star Wars, but it's so much more than that to us. And so just to know that this thing, this movie, this universe has brought us together equally because of that, and has gotten us through tough times, and we have friends who are there for us, you know, for life, I consider.
Oh yeah.
Because of that, that's what makes Star Wars so amazing. And why, when people go like, why are you into Star Wars so much, it's like, no, you
It's
understand,
really hard to
it's
explain.
not just a movie, you don't get it. But
Yeah.
you know what, am I right, friend?
I actually got that today when I got my haircut today. The
Yeah.
one of the guys that was working there saw my purse, and my purse is a very subtle. It's the Loungefly purse that has the flowers on it, but it has stormtrooper skulls and lightsabers and Hans Blaster, but it's all like subtle, so you have to really look at it.
Right.
But he saw the little tiny Star Wars logo on it, and he's like, "Is your purse a Star Wars purse?" I'm like, "Oh yeah." I'm like, "I'm covered in Star Wars stuff. My earrings are, my necklaces,
Yeah.
my wedding ring. My wedding ring has the Rebel symbols on it, which my husband designed
Nice.
for me." And the
Nice.
guy's face was like, "What?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I have a whole room that's dedicated to Star Wars stuff. It's not set up yet, but it's getting there."
Yeah, yeah.
And then of course the other two ladies that were there just like they don't understand. It's like, "Oh,
They're
my
like,
kids love Star Wars." I'm like,
yeah,
which good, great. I'm glad your kids do. I'm like, but it's not just for kids. And it is always hard to explain, which tomorrow's question, the 30-day challenge thing, is what Star Wars means to you.
yeah,
And I'm going to be writing a very long post because it's pretty much, it's huge to me. I mean, like it's
yeah,
one of my first memories. It got me through most of the hardest parts of my life. Um, and it's just like that comforting, warm hug that you need,
yeah.
whether you're happy or sad. It's comforting to have it there. And then there's days like tomorrow that are anxiety ridden because I'm already like getting heart palpitations because I'm so nervous to see the new movie.
You're like,
It's all new
is it?
ground, which is very intimidating, but also really exciting.
Yeah, that's always such a cool moment when you're sitting in the theater and the crawl starts and you have no idea what you're about to see. Like it's just so
Yeah.
like, God, it's so hard to explain, but it's such a cool feeling. And something else that I was reflecting on kind of today and thinking about tomorrow and stuff is like, how cool is it that Star Wars has lasted so long? It has had such an impact on not only just geek culture, but just in the landscape of cinema, and how it's such a multi-generational thing. Like we know somebody who was alive and around during the time that the first Star Wars movie came out, and we've had Star Wars movies that have come out in our time, and from what the looks of it, we're gonna have Star Wars movies that are gonna come out when our kids are around. So Star Wars has like spanned so many generations. It's like, and it's like, even though it's all very different, it means different things to different people. Like it's all Star Wars, and we all can share that. And I think that's such a cool thing.
Really, it is. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's awesome. We're gonna be like nonstop talking about Star Wars for sure next our next episode.
Oh
After
yeah.
I'm yeah I'm after I mean I'm probably gonna see it at least twice, if not three times, before we talk again. But I'll
Probably the
be
same. Yeah.
super excited. Yeah, super excited and prepared for it. But friend, we had some other like mega like geek mind blowing news. And it's not necessarily good news. Pissed off a lot of people. I know you're definitely one of the people that's really pissed off about it.
Yep.
And we're gonna talk with The Walking Dead right now, guys. And we're gonna talk about, we'll say, spoilers from the last episode if you haven't seen it yet. So if you
The season
haven't seen
finale.
it, yeah, if you haven't seen it yet, you might want to turn it off for a little bit and come back in a few minutes. But um, the mid-season finale, amidst the chaos that was Rick and company's plan backfiring, Negan and the Saviors getting out of the compound, uh, basically full on retaliation against everything that Rick and team have put them through. And amidst all that, and everybody thinking, okay, well, we're gonna live to fight another day, they drop the bomb on us, Christina, that fucking Carl has indeed been bitten.
On his
Now,
torso, nonetheless. So there's no way you can like cut that up. There's like
yeah,
no.
yeah,
It's on his torso.
right on his flank there. Nice little fleshy bits. Now you and I differ with our view of The Walking Dead, because you have been a faithful Walking Dead comic book fan since day one. You know the ins and outs of the story and the characters that are in that book, and of course, subsequently, you know the ins and outs of, for the most part, the characters in the show and what they've changed and what they haven't changed. So that obviously has a different take on the way you look at the show. I know you were really not happy about this, because you've been with me, for the most part, with defending the show and
Oh,
how good it is, and
vehemently
yes,
defending it.
yeah, absolutely,
Even when there's stuff that I haven't liked about it, I've still
right,
defended it. Yeah.
yeah. But now that this has happened, what's running through your brain? I know there's been a lot of thoughts going on.
So it originally got spoiled for me by mistake. A friend didn't mean to. It was like one of those articles where it was like spoilers, but the spoilers showed up at the bottom of the
Yeah,
article. I'm like, well, because I have cable on demand, but for some reason AMC doesn't let you watch it the next day. You have to wait a few days to watch it.
right.
So I have seen it now. But when I saw it, I realized, no, this can't be true. What they
Yeah.
did, that's silly. And then I started reading all these different articles about it and realizing,
Mm.
oh, Chandler Riggs is not actually on the show anymore. He has not been on the show working on it for months.
Yeah.
For the end of the next season or whatever. So that's a confirmation that he's not going to be on the show. It's not like, oh, they're just trying to pull our leg. And if they are, that's really cheap, in my opinion, to do that. It's not funny. It's not like
Yeah.
a cool ploy. They could have just kept everything quiet. And his dad seems upset.
Yeah.
Because they just bought a house in Georgia because I thought they were going to be there for the next 3 years or so.
Right.
My biggest thing is, not only do I think it's the cheap, lazy way out, if they're trying to get rid of an actor or whatever, the problem with killing Carl is that the entire story from here on out, after what happens with the Saviors, and with Negan in this particular area of the comic / TV show,
Right.
it's all on Carl's shoulders. The entire story is.
Yeah.
It's not, I could argue it's not even about Rick anymore. Rick is still in it, but it's not about him. It's about Carl. So a couple of my friends and I, who are the comic book readers, and we love the show.
Yeah.
I had to text them. They were really great about not spoiling it for me. And I texted them and I was like, all right, what do you think about it? And they're like, no, we're pretty mad.
Yeah.
And it feels like they did Chandler Riggs dirty on that one. Because he's dedicated a decade of his life, man. He's a tiny little boy when he started doing this.
Up on the show, absolutely.
And like, yeah, Carl was annoying as shit sometimes, but like, that's part of being a child and watching him grow into his own and actually being pretty cool this season.
Yeah.
I can admit that Sadiq is really cool, and I'm really glad they finally introduced him. I'm just a little bit confused. There were some cool theories going on that maybe he's immune, which I think would be stupid. Nobody in the history of the comic or the show is immune.
Right.
That it could have been a Whisperer, which are, those of you who aren't familiar with the comics, are a group of people that are really, really cool, and you'll hopefully be meeting in the show, because that was, I think they loosely based the dumpster people, who I hate, on the Whisperers. Okay. So there's a theory that it could have been Whisperer that bit him, but I think all of this has been debunked, like I said, because they've pretty much confirmed he has not worked on the show in the last few months and he's just not on it anymore.
Yeah.
This is really disappointing because with the story now, changes the dynamic for what happens with Negan in the future hugely. Negan loves Carl a
Yeah.
lot. So, and I mean that
He
genuinely.
you can
He,
definitely tell that in the show, even amongst his own men and the saviors, there has been very few people who have the ability to affect Negan like Carl does.
yes.
It's a testament
Well,
to
and
who the
Rick.
character is, yeah, and who the actor is, obviously. But yeah, so just from a just a show only perspective, I really don't. I think this is like one of the dumbest things he could have done, especially in the midst of we've been hearing over and over again that the ratings are continuously going down. And I'm sure they've lost a big chunk of people like yourself now who are really not happy about that move and are just kind of like done with the show now. So
I was digging the season too because it's actually
yeah,
stayed relatively close to the comics, and I got excited. Like I said, when they introduced
yeah,
Sadiq, I was like, "Oh man, Sadiq is awesome!" And like, he has some really great stuff coming if they kind of stick to the. And I get that it's
yeah,
going to stray from the comics. I don't want it to necessarily be exactly like it.
yeah.
There are some great things that they've changed,
Hmm.
but there's some stuff that you cannot change about the core of the story without ruining the whole thing. And that's where I'm just like, why would
Right.
you? Why would you do that? I don't. I really don't understand it. Then learning Andrea, of course, was my first big thing where I was like, she's so cool. Why would you just
Yeah,
completely change that character into
sure.
somebody different?
Yeah,
Whatever. I think they redeemed it by kind of combining her character into, like I said, into Carol and part into Michonne,
hmm, yeah,
and then killing Andrea in the show because she was awful.
yeah.
This is just,
Yeah, yeah,
I really don't. I did not expect that. Now,
yeah,
if they wanted to do a big death for like shock reason, it was like, why didn't you pick Daryl?
yeah, sure.
I not that I want them to do that because I like him too. I'm
Yeah,
just
but
from a
Daryl's not
story
in the comics,
perspective.
right?
No, he is not. He is a TV show exclusive character. But this with Car, it's such a dumb move, and I have a feeling it honestly might have been from what I've been reading to spite Robert Kirkman.
Mm, yeah,
There's some stuff going on that I've read. A lot of it's under wraps, I guess. There is some sort of litigation going on between the showrunner. I can't remember what his name is. One of the showrunners and Robert
Scott
Kirkman.
Gimple.
Yes.
Yes.
Um, Gimple is not my favorite human being at this point in time.
Yeah, seriously.
But I have a feeling it might have been intentional.
Okay.
So, which is very petty. And hey, in Hollywood, it's like that.
Yeah.
I know because I've worked
You piss off the wrong guy and they write your character out next week. It's just that's how
as
it
being
is.
an actor and working in production. You see that crap a lot. Um, so I think it was a stupid move, and I think that I'll give it one more episode
Yeah.
at least. So I will
Yeah.
watch the mid-season premiere.
Okay.
But I have a feeling they've lost me, and they've definitely lost two of my friends to read the comic.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. It's hard to say, friend, after that where they're gonna go. Obviously, if you watch the after show, they're talking about how they are gonna utilize Carl and he is gonna use that scenario to his advantage. I mean, obviously, a couple of ideas come to mind, but as far as like you're saying, like I mean, even just from the show perspective, it's definitely going to alter the dynamic of everything and definitely shake up some things and where I guess the story could have gone. So I will be interested, like you, to see what they do with Carl and his actual death when they show that.
well, and I was saying too, I remember I was reading an article about it that um, Scott Gimple, who has read that section of the comics, and obviously he has because the show's been pretty consistent with sticking
Mhm.
to the main part of the story. Um,
Yeah.
Spoilers to those who haven't read the comic, kind of, not really. By the end of all the savior business, it time jumps. It time jumps quite a
Yeah.
bit. I can't remember the number of years, but at least five, if not more than almost 10. It jumps quite a bit. And hence I said back to one of our earlier episodes about Old Man Rick and how that one flashback of Rick where he's all happy with Michonne and Judith and all of them is very much what he looks like now in the comics. Um, that time jump and some stuff that happens with Negan and the rest of them, Gimple said he doesn't understand what the conflict was between Rick killing or not killing Negan. And I'm like, then you clearly have reading comprehension issues or don't understand the nuances of human emotion. And so it
Yeah.
bothered me that it sounded like he chose killing off Carl
Mm.
as this weird catalyst, and with Carl saying, "Oh, there's a better way
Yeah.
than war," which you didn't need to kill Carl to do that, you absolute moron. So I don't know. I
Yeah. I know.
it might be a show killer. They may have destroyed the show with this.
Friend, that's stupid. I don't get why like you said, it's a Hollywood thing and don't know really why they do that shit, but I guess it is what it is. I'm gonna have to see where it goes from here if for those of
Yep.
us that are gonna keep watching it. But
I'll give it one more shot.
yeah, yeah. Well, oh well. Rest in peace, Carl. We love you. You're fucking awesome. Well, hopefully, he's they're bringing the Walker Stalker Con back to California next year, and their first big guest they announced was Chandler Riggs. So
Oh, good.
I'm definitely gonna hit that up and get my picture with Carl as Negan. So that'll be
Oh
fun. But
yeah.
it'd be good times. Maybe I'll have him sing to Lucille. Well, sing to Lucille, Carl. Friend, so let's get in a little bit of movie news, and obviously this is something that's been in the topic of debate and discussion and all kinds of other excitement for the last couple weeks, if not month. This big supposed merger between Fox and Disney, or Disney buying Fox, and it was rumored that it was on the table. Then it was rumored that Disney stepped away and that Comcast was gonna take over Fox, and now Disney decided, I guess, that hey, we really do want all our shit back and put it back under one roof. And so from all reports, the signs are pointing to that's pretty much a done deal, and we're supposedly going to hear an announcement tomorrow, is what the word on the street is. And there's kind of been some interesting talk about what exactly Disney would be acquiring in that acquisition. So obviously, a lot as far as the film franchises go, obviously their film distribution rights and characters, for the most part, would be going straight over to Disney and Marvel, of course, when we're talking specifically about the comic book franchises like X-Men. But there is a big thing with the Fantastic Four, which I know is a big one that obviously a lot of our fellow nerds and geeks are excited about, because of not only the shittiness that has been the last couple of goes at a Fantastic Four movie, but because everybody wants to see them in the MCU.
Every go.
Yeah, there we go. And that's actually one of the things that's kind of under debate, because that, I guess, franchise is not specifically just owned by Fox. It's owned by another company as well.
Oh.
It's partially owned by some other company. I can't think of the name. It almost sounded like Constant something or other. But I feel like at this point, if they've gone to shell out the billions of dollars that they're going to be shelling out to acquire Fox, I think they're going to be okay with going the extra little step to get Fantastic Four as well, since that will be, I guess part of in their wheelhouse now, we'll say. But
Disney can do it if there's anyone who can. So
yeah, yeah. But I think it'll be kind of neat. I'm kind of this, obviously we'll still have the shit that Sony owns as far as Marvel characters go, but I think it'll be kind of nice to have most of the characters run by one company. And because I mean, come on, for the lay people who are not as much into comics and stuff like that as we are, it's hard to say like, yeah, that's a Marvel movie, but it's not actually a Marvel movie. It's a
yeah.
Fox movie, which is a different thing, and then this is a different thing. It's just so it's annoying and confusing, and they're all Marvel characters. Why the like you said, Hollywood shit, people bought different things. Everybody's got a little bit of the pie here and
Right.
there. It's nice to get the pie mostly back in the tin altogether.
Which I agree. I think, and it also gives it a lot of consistency, which I think
Yeah.
it would be nice, and hopefully, X-Men stories that don't blow.
Yes. I think if you know when we hear this final news of the acquisition, I think that's gonna kind of give us an idea of where the next phase of MCU movies is gonna kind of head. Because if they get all that other stuff back in Camp Marvel Disney, it's gonna put a lot of new things on the board that I'm sure they're gonna start working on like right away. It's
Oh
gonna
yeah.
be something like let's get the shit going. Let's slap some new X-Men together. We can stop calling them gifted people. We can call them mutants now. Let's get this done. Now, do will we see them for Avengers 4? maybe too soon. Don't know.
Might be too
Maybe they're
soon.
gonna pull. Maybe they're gonna pull Spider-Man and throw him in there at the last minute. We'll get some kind of end credit scene or something. Who knows? But either way, I think it'd be cool. And if obviously, I'm gonna be one of those people that are gonna be like earth-shatteringly sad when we lose Stark and when we lose Chris Evans and
Yeah.
Robert Downey Jr. in the MCU. I don't even want to think about it yet. Okay, but
We
but
might even in March, man.
yeah, but I just but if we're gonna get some cool new X-Men stuff that's actually good, it'll be a nice consolation. Not
It
a
would.
totally better, but it'll be a nice consolation.
I do
are
love
you
my muties.
yes, are you excited about where this may end up with all the cool
I mean,
stuff?
yeah, I'm excited where it could end up. It's also really interesting because there's a lot of debate whether or not it's a good thing that there's separation between part of the Marvel universe, versus the Fox and Sony and all of that.
Yeah.
Me personally, I think it's better to have it all, as you said, under the same tin, the
Mm-hmm.
pie tin.
Mm-hmm.
I think that it would be neat to see all the characters that we've seen in comic books combined. Like it'd be cool to see Wolverine in the Avengers.
Yeah,
Um,
absolutely.
Not that this has to happen, but it'd be kind of cool. The idea that it could happen.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it would be nice to have maybe well, Hulk's already a Marvel movie, but like maybe a full blown Hulk movie that doesn't suck, a Fantastic Four movie that doesn't suck.
Yeah.
Even though I don't like the Fantastic Four, like, hey, I didn't like Captain America either, but hey, Marvel and Chris Evans made me love him now, which I'm a little bit resentful about. But I
Yeah.
do. I like him
Me too.
now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I'm angry that you made me like you. But
Yes.
hey, make some movies that are good. Get some X-Men movies that like are actually nostalgic enough, like you've done with the Avengers, where it's still new material for the most part,
Mm-hmm.
but you still gave that big nod to the comics that we grew up with.
Sure.
And I think that Disney's capable of doing that. So come on.
I agree, friend. Yes, let's well we'll have to report back next week if we do in fact hear tomorrow about that. But
Yeah.
should be interesting at any rate. Yeah, other exciting comic book movie news, my friend. It could be exciting. I know you're not a super excited fan of this because I know that what the Crow means to you. One of those amazing movies that I personally feel like doesn't need to be rebooted at all. Feel like there's no need. One of the I don't know if he was the director of the original movie. No, I don't think. I think he was one of the guys that was originally pegged to direct one of the many reboots that's been on the table over the last couple of years that they've been trying to put out for The Crow. And it said like he doesn't feel like this movie needs to be rebooted. He feels like it's kind of a disservice to Brandon Lee's memory. I mean, the guy did die making the damn movie. Like, why are we going to reboot it? And of course, you got the other camp of fans who are excited because Jason Momoa is going to be playing the Crow in the next film reboot, and that's cool. But it's been kind of on again, off again thing with that film, and it looks like it's for sure on. Nothing big as far as the news on that, just that they've already scouted some key locations and they're already set to start filming. Looks like next year. Budapest is going to be one of the popular film locations for the movie. So, what are your overall thoughts on The Crow and the reboot?
I wish it wasn't a reboot. I wish that it was a retelling or
Yeah.
another version of The Crow, which the purpose of The Crow is that it's not just Eric Draven and not just his story. The
Yeah.
Crow can happen to anybody.
Mm-hmm.
That hero, anti-hero, whatever you want to call him. I guess he'd be an
Mm-hmm.
anti-hero.
Yeah.
So redoing Eric Draven, I'm conflicted because the original movie I love so very much. It's very near and dear to my heart, but the comic book also is too. And it's the movie is similar, but there's a lot of things that happen that are very different in the comic. They really couldn't probably make that work in the movie back in the
Yeah.
90s.
Yeah.
But it'd be neat if they could make it, if they were going to remake it just like the comic book or the graphic novel. Just do it that way.
Right.
So don't try to make it something like the 90s movie. You're just never going to get that magic again.
Right.
Um, and I just wish they would make him not Eric Draven. That's my biggest thing where I'm like, I just wish that you would just name him something different.
Yeah. Just tell a different story.
Yeah, and the Crow TV show and the other two Crow movies are not so great.
Mm-hmm.
But they did the thing where it's not about Eric Draven. It was about different
Yeah.
characters, which I think is what made those movies at least somewhat work.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I'm conflicted. I think Jason Momoa is a decent choice. I think he's a good actor. I think that that could go somewhere really cool. I'm interested to see the visuals, just like I was with Hellboy. I was very skeptical, and then I saw the first couple still shots, and I was like, okay, that's
I'm
pretty
down.
rad.
Yeah, I'm down.
Um, but yeah, I have to agree with the guy that backed out that it seems a little disrespectful to Brandon Lee a bit.
Mhm.
But hey, maybe Brandon would want this too. Who knows?
Yeah, yeah, it's a good point, my friend. Yeah, we'll see. I dig Jason Momoa like most people on the face of the planet, and it'll be interesting to see what he does with the role, because it's going to happen either way, whether we want to or not.
Right.
But so we'll just see. We'll have to see what he does with it.
Just really hope Jason Momoa doesn't get shot.
Yes, please, God.
Please don't kill Jason Momoa in this movie for real.
Yeah, terrible, my friend. Let's see. Since the last time we talked, that Jurassic Park Lost Kingdom trailer finally dropped. And what was your comment about what it looks like, but you're going to see it anyways?
Oh, it's totally a giant dumpster fire, but I'm gonna go
Yes.
see it. It's a glorious
So,
dumpster fire with dinosaurs and explosions. I'm going to see it.
and literal fire.
Yeah.
Yeah. So apparently the story behind this one is the island that's been left, dormant with just a bunch of like dinosaurs roaming around, is apparently set to explode due to a giant volcano. And for some reason decided, well, you know what? These are animals like anything else. We got to go get them off this island before they get engulfed like Pompeii #2. Cue in Chris Pratt and Bryce Dallas Howard again, and all kinds of madness and chaos ensues. And a couple of cool shots of Jeff Goldblum talking, as to why this is a bad idea. So it's cool that they got him back on. I
Yeah.
think that's neat. We all love Jeff Goldblum. He's pretty damn awesome. But like you said, the rest, I don't know. Interesting
It
story,
just
don't you
looks.
think?
I'm pretty sure I saw the whole movie in the trailer.
Yeah.
It's. Let's be honest. But because
Yeah.
you did for the Jurassic World trailer too, you like
Yeah.
I saw Jurassic World. I'm embarrassed to admit it, but I think I saw it like 4 times in the theater,
Yeah.
and not because it was the best movie ever, but because I could eat popcorn and get drunk and just be like, "We dinosaurs!" Like that was
Yes.
all
And
nostalgia.
it just
And
reminded you of like when you were like 13 again, right?
yeah, like
You're
yes, it's
yeah.
misogynistic as shit. That movie was like the worst storytelling I think I've seen in a very long time. Like, and
Yes.
I just watched A Christmas Prince on Netflix, and like that was better than Jurassic World storytelling. So, but I got to see Rexy, I got to see Velociraptors, and explosions and people getting eaten, and that's honestly really all I give a shit about in a Jurassic Park movie.
Correct.
I just,
What more do you
yeah,
want?
I'm gonna have to be. I don't know when the movie comes out, and I'm thinking about when I have my kid. Hopefully, I'll have this kid so I can get a little drunk when I go to see it.
Yes. Yes.
But yeah, heck yeah, I'm still gonna go see it. I want to see my awesome badass T-Rex that I grew up with,
Yes.
and I want to see Blue
Yes.
because
Yes.
she's an awesome Velociraptor.
Right.
And every single person in that movie could die. I don't give a shit, except for
Yes.
Jeff Goldblum. You can touch him. He is a national treasure.
Yeah, don't kill him. Don't kill the T-Rex.
Yeah, don't kill Blue and don't kill Rexy.
Who apparently the T-Rex has now become like the dinosaur like superhero. Like anytime they're about to be fucked by some other dinosaur, like Rex comes in and eats them, and he's like,
And she's like,
"Rah!"
"Rawr, I'm gonna eat this
Yeah.
dinosaur, and then I'm gonna come eat you." And you're like, wait, what?
Yeah, wait, what's happening here? Did they reach that understanding now that he doesn't attack them? He just kind of saves them now? And are we cool now? Or I don't know what's happening. It's weird. It's weird where the T-Rex went from the alpha, like everybody's scared shitless of that dinosaur, and now there's like, where is he? Is he gonna save us again? Whatever. Like you said, dumpster fire,
Oh yeah,
explosions,
it's
dinosaurs.
gonna be a really pretty explodey dinosaur dumpster fire.
Yes, they'll probably have Bryce Dallas Howard running in high heels again at some point.
Probably.
Like you said.
Hey though, that takes skill because I can't even walk in those. So
Hey man,
that takes skill.
I'm sure it does. I could barely walk in platforms Invader, so it's amazing. But yeah, that's when that hits next year sometime, probably in the summer. I didn't look at the date. Terrible reporting.
I probably even said it in the trailer, but I was too busy being like
Yeah.
both like sort of excited for the movie and also just like, what the fuck did I just watch? That was terrible.
You're thinking, God, why am I gonna go watch this 4 times?
Yeah, exactly.
Son of a bitch. Oh god. Friend, we have not talked on the show about the Punisher, about the Netflix series Punisher. You haven't quite gotten to watch it yet. I think I watched the whole thing on the second day it came out.
Lucky.
Yeah. It was perfect timing that it came out on a Friday, and that Saturday Emily had committed herself to babysitting her cousins from like 10 a.m. till like 11 p.m. And I was like, well, I ain't doing shit but laying on the couch and watching The Punisher. And I think I literally finished it like the moment she walked in the door. She was like, it was like the last 5 minutes I was catching it. But
Nice timing.
yeah, I will say, I will go as far as to say this is now my my number. We'll say my number two, if close second to Daredevil, favorite Marvel Netflix show. I
Dang.
enjoyed the fuck out of it. It was so good. I mean, like I was always now I myself am always was always a fan of the Thomas Jane Punisher. I thought he did a great job. I loved the way he portrayed the character. Obviously, it was, you know, it had your quintessential cheesy like John Travolta bad guy moments. Okay, that's we're not talking about that. Okay, but for the most part, I get the story. I respect that, you know, the whole dynamic of the character and everything like that. It was, you know, they they kind of took that and amplified it, and they, you know, they mixed in the whole like military, like black ops, like espionage thing going on, and just that web of like what really happened to his family and why they were killed. I mean, it got really deep. And of course, the deeper it got, the more angry he got, and the more people had to die. And it was just, I mean, like a good Jurassic Park movie. It was just something you want to sit back and watch him like just find a gazillion different amazing, tantalizing ways to kill people. So it's like, yes, how are they gonna kill this guy?
Kill these bad guys.
Yes, but definitely a lot of emotion. You know, a lot of things where he's finding out who's really behind a lot of the stuff that's going on, a lot of betrayal involved. So it definitely got you know, it's a lot more than just violence, and it's good storytelling. And I think it was I mean, I can't say enough about John Bernthal as a Punisher. He's my new number one, man. He's etched out Tom Jane now, which hard for me to say, but I mean, he's fucking great. Like have you said you watched the first episode?
Yes, and yeah, and I will say that he is fantastic, especially after seeing him in Walking Dead as Shane,
Yeah.
who's such a douchebag.
Yeah.
Like he was good in it. I mean, that's you. If you hate a character, that means they're a fantastic actor. Like if you genuinely just like look at them, you're like, I hate your guts. That's kind of what he did to me. And then seeing him as Punisher, he in Daredevil, he became this very sympathetic, which Frank Castle can be, depending on
Yeah.
who's written the comic. You see why he is the way he is, and he becomes that sort of character where it's like, you know, what he's doing is technically wrong,
Yeah.
but he's killing bad guys. So you're kind of like, it's like the whole Boondock Saints thing, where like, you know, at the very end of the movie, they're like, yeah, heck yeah, he's killing all the bad guys. Now people are like, no, it's just bad. You can't run around and kill all the bad guys.
Right.
It does that thing inside of you where you're like, this is badass.
Yeah.
Should I be cheering him on?
Right.
Shit, I don't know.
Yeah.
And I am excited to finish the series. Brian and I have been trying to sit down and watch it together.
Mhm.
And just haven't had the time. Probably after Christmas we'll get to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, he is great, and I really like what Marvel's done with most of their TV shows.
I think one of the really cool things that really kind of lets you get into the mind of the character if you're not familiar with him is like you really get the sense of like how his whole existence, his whole like life, he's basically like in constant like torture from the idea of his family dying and him feeling like he was responsible for that in some way. The choices that he made, the actions that he did in his past were obviously a big reason why his family died. And I mean, it's just like literally every moment that he's awake, even every moment that he's asleep, he's constantly reliving that nightmare over and over
Mhm.
again. And you really start to get a sense of what that does to a person, how, you know, how that would affect somebody, how that would affect somebody with his kind of background and his kind of training. And you kind of think about like, well, shit, what would I be doing in this position? You know, so that was a really good, you know, storytelling element that they really got across in a very kind of interesting way in the show. And I thought that was kind of a neat thing, especially to, you know, like I said, for those people who are not familiar with the comic book or the character, you kind of really get it in a nutshell pretty quick, like why he's doing everything he's doing. It's and it's good. It's good. It's good. Well, good.
Good.
Yes, but if you enjoyed it, if you're not friends, they have already said that there will officially be a season two. So
Sweet.
clearly, clearly Punisher did well. We're not done with Frank Castle's one man war of destruction. So I'm ready.
Good.
Mm-hmm. But yes, and we got a release date for Jessica Jones season 2, so that's coming next year.
Yes.
Um, I'm sure we'll get Daredevil the next season. I'm sure we'll probably get next year as well. Wonder how many shows are going to drop on us next year, friend. It's like
I don't know.
they dropped a lot this
Especially
year.
since Disney wants to do their streaming, their own streaming site. I don't
Yeah,
know how that's going to work out, or if they've announced how it's going to work.
right.
So we'll see. But I am definitely excited for Jessica Jones season 2. That's my second favorite Marvel show, Daredevil being the first. Um, then again, I haven't seen Punisher, so that might trump it.
Yes, yes. They're going to be right there. I can guarantee it. I know. It's good. Yeah, so we'll see, man. We'll see. It's whatever they can throw at me next year. Hopefully we'll still get something before that whole new Disney streaming thing, because I don't want to have to pay for 5 million channels, but it looks like I'm gonna have to.
I will though. It's Disney, and now that I'm having kids, the idea that I'll be able to watch, like, I think it's like an endless library. You can watch like all the movies, and Star Wars will be on there. I'm like, well,
Yeah,
here's my money,
seal the
which
deal for
Disney's
me.
always said to me.
Enjoy. Yep. Let's talk just a little bit of comic book news. The one of the most iconic, one of the oldest and original detective comics. And of course, we're talking about the Man in Yellow, Mr. Dick Tracy. He always had those cool ass like wrist communicators. I always
Yeah.
wanted one, especially when I saw it on the movie. He is getting a comic book reboot, and the people behind that are promising that it's going to be a very much like a year one kind of story that's going to mix a lot of like the classic Dick Tracy style with a little more of a modern and dark noir feel to it. So I think that's kind of cool. Obviously, the very little I know about Dick Tracy was from the movie from the 90s with Warren Beatty and Madonna.
Oh yeah, I
Which
forgot that was her.
yeah, she was Breathless Mahoney. She loved all the crappy, like cheesy, like gangstery names they had for all the bad guys, like Prune Face and Flat Top, and
I haven't thought about that movie in years, actually.
that movie always came to mind because I have a friend. His name is Jonathan. His last name, the first like couple letters of his last name spell leg. So I'm like, dude, if you were in a Dick Tracy movie, you'd be Johnny Legs. Johnny Legs, everybody. Yeah. He's like, what? Yeah. But
Yes, he would.
I yes, I have not read enough of the Dick Tracy comic books or the comic strips, and I'm sure you can find collections of them in books now. But I would be interested to see this. I mean, especially if it's kind of a year one, I guess, kind of like an origin or maybe like his first year as a detective. I think that'd be kind of a cool thing to see with a little bit
Absolutely.
of a modern twist on it. And as long as there's like a guy all purple, like called like Prune Face, I'm down. Mr. Plum.
Well, we kind of need to
Yes.
see it too, like in a true noir fashion. Not that the
Yeah.
original wasn't, but that it was a little bit more stylized for the 80s
Right.
or the 90s. When did that movie come out? I don't even know. It feels like
Early
80s.
90s. I think it's like early 90s, maybe. The late 80s, early 90s. Somewhere right around there.
It'd be interesting because then it might get some other people back into some of the older comics like that too. So like Dick Tracy, Flash Gordon, all of those. So yeah, I'm all for it. I think it's been a long enough amount of time that a reboot is for that
Yeah. It's good.
acceptable.
Yeah. And hey, if they want to reboot a movie without a Madonna, it's probably be good too.
Probably.
Who now this is just right off the cuff question. I know you haven't had time to think about this. Who do you think if they rebooted Dick Tracy, who would make a good Dick Tracy?
Ooh. I don't know why I thought of John Hamm. Probably because they were going to cast him
Oh
as
my god, I was
Batman.
just gonna say John Hamm.
Yeah, but it depends on how they did. Yeah, no, I think he would though.
Yeah, yeah. You need somebody with that stature and that presence, the
He has
big
to look
chest
like a
and the
detective.
the nice jaw, the nice square jaw. He's yeah.
Like Josh Brolin, maybe if he was younger.
Okay, yeah, I can see that. Yeah, definitely.
But I think he's a little old for the part now, maybe. I don't know.
Mhm.
Yeah, though John Hamm, mostly
Maybe
because
they
he's.
maybe they need to go a completely different way and throw like Idris Elba in there.
Oh, I'd be okay. I just put him in all the things. Like I said
Yes,
before, just please
exactly.
Stephen Yeun and Idris Elba in all of the things.
Just do it. We love it. We want it. We'll watch it.
Oh yeah.
Friends. Ah, my friend. So let's round out the show with a little bit of Wide World of Geek. What have you been doing since the last time we hung out?
Got the house finished decorated for Christmas. Yay! Gearing up for Star Wars. Uh, and doing the baby's room and my Star Wars room slowly but surely.
All right.
Um, trying to think of like geek stuff that I've done. I'm sure that that exists. It's just always hard to think of it.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. You remember it like
um,
as soon as we get off, you're like, "Fuck! I should have talked
yeah,
about that."
yes. Definitely my stupid Animal Crossing camp game on my phone. It
Yeah.
consumes my life. Which if you guys haven't downloaded or played it, it is really fun, and it's one of those things where like it just sort of like relieves stress for me.
Mhm.
It's a game where you just collect a bunch of stuff and give
Mhm.
it as gifts to other like animals. I'm making this sound really stupid, and it
No.
really is, but it's a lot of fun.
No.
um, yeah,
Something
and
about an
if you,
animal and a quest and a ring and about a dark lord. I don't know. Wasn't paying attention.
but it's really low, like it's low stress. Like it's like you
Yeah.
collect cherries and apples and bugs and crap for these animals, and you give it to them, and then you get rewards, and you can build stuff, and the building stuff gets kind of addicting, and yeah,
I
it's
love it.
fun.
I love it.
Last of Us 2, still keeping my eye sharp on Naughty Dog and for the
Yes.
release of that game because I'm so excited for it.
Right.
Um, that's really that's really kind of it that I could think of.
Okay.
Mostly Star Wars is consuming my brain right now. So
Yeah, I hear you. I'm with you. The I since the last time we talked, I got a chance to go to return to Hogwarts, to the Wizarding World of Harry Potter at Universal Studios in Hollywood, to check out their first year that they have gone a little bit extra for Christmas and their holidays at the Wizarding World of Harry Potter. So I really wanted to check that out, and I got the Costco annual pass, so it's got quite a few blackout days, and this was like one of the few weekends that was unblocked during December, like after that whole thing started, and I was like, well, I need to go and check it out because I really want to see it. So, and it's nice because now that it's wintertime, you can like be fully geeked out with my robe and my house sweater and my scarf and
yeah,
everything.
not
With
die.
yeah, not die. Um, the the As far as the decor goes, it was pretty like simple. I mean, obviously, people like you and I, we expect like Disney level Christmas decoration, and I got to remember like everywhere is not Disney, but it's you see the world with Disney colored glasses a lot. So but a lot of like greenery and holly and things like that. So I mean, I feel like it was more realistic of what Hogsmeade would have as far as
Yeah.
Christmas decorations would be. um I had my typical lunch at the Three Broomsticks, and they did have a special food offering for the holiday. I think they called it like the English holiday feast. So it was like basically like turkey like you'd have on Thanksgiving or Christmas with the gravy. They had this really amazing stuffing. It had like
Mhm.
English
That's my
yeah,
favorite.
English pigs in a blanket, which are basically like sausage wrapped in bacon, which is it's like
Mm.
pig and more pig. Yeah. um this nice like vegetable medley, and they threw some cranberry in there, and of course I had to top it off with a butter beer with a shot of Jameson in it. I mean,
Oh,
you can't go wrong with that, right? um
sounds so
I
good.
Yeah, the definitely the highlight of the whole Hogwarts Christmas thing was the nighttime show they do. And they just added this to our park recently, where they do like a projection show where they do like the digital mapping, then they do it on Hogwarts Castle, and they did a special one for the Christmas season, and it's really cool. It's I like it a lot better than the regular one. It's a lot more fun. There's a lot more to it. It's all holiday and cutesy and gets you all warm and tingly feely, and you're with your loved ones, you're like, I love you. So so that was really cool. We they that was also the first day that they did the Grinchmas, which is where they take a big section of the center of the park and it goes like full out like Dr. Seuss, How the Grinch Stole Christmas. The actor that they have playing the Grinch that you can take pictures with is perfect. I mean, like perfection. I mean, if you had put his voice next to Jim Carrey and blindfolded me, I wouldn't have known the difference. The guy was so good. He was like so committed to that. It makes me even more want to dress up as the Grinch next year for Christmas because it's something I've always wanted to do. So that was a lot of fun. You could get pictures with him, and they had like Max, who was like a real like trained animal actor that you could get pictures with.
What? Like
He
a real
was like,
doggy?
oh, he was so cute, Christina. Like they had he's obviously got his trainer there with him, and she'll do like the clicky call thing.
Mm-hmm.
and he'll like sometimes like put his paw in your hand. You can like hold his hand, like
Oh.
yeah, and like with us, he's just kind of like tucked in the middle of us, like looking up. Like I think he really wanted his treat more than anything, but it was like yeah, it was like the cutest thing. But that was a blast, a lot of fun. So if you ever get a chance to go check that out, please do. The other geeky thing that I did, which I wanted to mention on the show because it's something that I would love, die super, and be happy to have any of our listeners on the show support me on my other endeavor that I stupidly decided to tackle. Um, I think I bit off a little more than I could chew, but I'm going to go for it and give it my all. I've in the past couple years, I've had a lot of inspiration with seeing other friends and cosplayers that we know get to meet like their like idol, like somebody that like just are completely in awe of and dress up as. Specifically, I think of Lon, who you might know him as Lon Stramash online. He's like, the perfect like representation of like Hugh Jackman Wolverine, and he got to interview and meet Hugh Jackman when he was doing the press tour for Logan, and I was like, hey, if Lon did it, there's hope for me that I could meet Robert Downey Jr. So I was thinking, you know what? I'm not going to get anybody's anybody's attention just being a regular Joe Schmo and just randomly tweeting at him every once in a while on Twitter and Instagram. So I decided to start a YouTube channel. My YouTube channel is called Iron Man 365, where I have decided that every day for the next year, I will be posting a video, and then they're not all necessarily long. Some of them are like 30 seconds, and obviously on the weekends when I'm not working a full-time job, I'll be posting longer videos. But every video will either um, include, mention, show, reference Iron Man, Tony Stark, or Robert Downey Jr. in every single video. And my ultimate goal, obviously, is to get his attention and to hopefully meet him in person one day. So
Good luck, man.
yes, I know. It's a lofty task, and it's just like sometimes I'm sitting there getting ready to go to bed. I'm like, fuck, I need to go put a video on. So it's like I jump out of bed, throw something on there. But if you guys watch YouTube a lot and you do the thing where you subscribe to channels, please go check me out. The channel is Iron Man 365. Just look for my mug on there, and any support, any sharing, any suggestions on what you want to see on my channel, I am totally open for it. This weekend I will be in Disneyland, so we'll be doing my first couple of videos on location at Disneyland, seeing how much Iron Man stuff we can find in the park. Bring that live to you.
Yes.
We'll see if we can get Thor and Loki in there since they're at the park now too.
Oh
So
yeah.
yeah. So,
Oh man, I miss being in California, and I miss my Disney pass.
yeah, well, it's like see, back in the day, if I was going to Disneyland, that means I would be hanging out with you. So
Yep.
so sad face. Can't wait till you come back and visit. Yeah.
Me too. I look forward to it. Oh, hey, I just remembered one of the geeky things I did.
Yes, tell me.
So Destiny 2,
Mm-hmm.
the Osiris download
Mm-hmm.
or DLC, totally finished it. I don't know why people were complaining about it so much. I actually very much enjoyed it. It was kind of short, but I mean, most DLCs are. I like a lot of the new weapons and the new content in it.
Mm-hmm.
It seems a little more streamlined.
Okay.
So I'm interested to see what the new raid's going to be like once they launch that. And so, yeah, if you have Destiny and you are on the fence about it, you could always wait till maybe it goes on sale. Sure, it probably will over Christmas. But I enjoyed it. I thought it was a good time. And like I said, you get a lot of new cool gear. And your light level is now raised up to 320, I want to say, and you can go up to level 25 now. So
Schnazzy.
yeah.
Dig it. I dig it, yo. All right, friends. Well, I think that's a good spot to wrap up the show. My lovely friend Christina, what do you have to take us out with on your final thought this week, my friend?
May the force be with all of you and rebel scum for life. And tomorrow is going to be an awesome day.
Yes. What the hell else would I be saying besides may the force be with you as well, and whatever you do, have fun, relish in the Star Wars awesomeness. If you're a fan like us or you're a mild fan, Star Wars is one of those things that gets everybody excited, I feel like. So whether you're a mega fan or a kind of a fan. So yeah, so enjoy Star Wars. Enjoy if you're camping out with friends, and uh, hit us up with pics of stuff you're doing if you're doing anything extra crazy. I know our friend Manoa is actually out here camping in this California cold at the Edwards Theater. I love the guy. He's insane. I love him. He's like I don't care if there's not lines. I'm still gonna go camp out. And that's part of his thing. Like we all have our like weird Star Wars traditions that we do when a movie comes out.
That used to be
But
mine, but then they started assigning seats, and I'm like, and
yeah,
also I'm pregnant, so I'm like, well,
yeah,
I'm gonna go drive by the movie theater where I'm going to see it because there isn't
yeah,
assigned seats at this one. Go get my
right,
tickets early, and then kind of
yeah,
scope it out and see if there's anybody waiting.
yeah,
And if not, then I'll come back a few hours later and then probably wait. But because I have to
yeah.
get decent seats, but I might be able to finagle a decent one because I'm pregnant. So we'll see.
Yes, yes. Use it, girl.
I
Especially
got
for Star
I got to be comfy.
Wars.
I can't sit too close.
Yes, you and your little BB-8 need to be comfy. That's so awesome, friend. Yeah, the place I'm going to doesn't have reserve yet either, but luckily wasn't sure, as those things at work go sometimes, but I at least got half the day off. So I'm getting off at 12 and I'm gonna get shit together and go get in line. So I'll at least be there from about 1 o'clock till the movie starts. But friend, I'm excited. We'll be together in spirit as always when it comes to things of the Force. Where do these beautiful people need to find you at on social media, my friend?
So you can follow me on Twitter or Instagram at boobafett83. And you could probably find me on Facebook, but it's just Booba Fett, and it's a picture of me as a rebel pilot. It's my cosplay page. I don't really check it very much. I'm mostly on Twitter or Instagram, so.
Gotcha, my friend. Friends, family, followers, please continue to check us out on thegww.com for all those amazing geek things that you love to see and read and learn about, because we're always posting them on there for you guys. Keep checking our show out on the Twitter sphere at _geek side pod. And you can find me on Twitter at Darth Sparrow, or you can go check me out on my new YouTube channel, Iron Man 365, where it's just me and craziness and Iron Man. As always, friend, thank you for watching and listening. We look forward to seeing you next week. By the way, if you're wondering, our good friend Darren is taking some personal time off. He'll be back soon, though. He's not gone forever. He sends his love. He wants to be back with all of you, so he'll be back soon. We love you, Darren.
I love you, Jared.
We can't wait to see you, man. As always, friends, we're gonna catch you on some crazy side. We're gonna catch you tomorrow on the Star Wars side and the Force side, but then we'll come back next week and catch you on the geek side.